Help me ducks. How we doing? Soon as that went live, fireworks started going off. I don't know why fireworks going off in the middle of December, but anyway, how is everyone? I'll just do the usual hellos before we proceed. Soul Visions is the first one in. Hello, followed by Marilyn and Tom. Hello to both. Well, to all three. Kate, Lily Rose, Moran, Sandra, Golden, and Tanya. Hello, Fifi, and Saskia. We also have Dawn. Yeah, Dawn. I think it was Sandra that told me that Goddess in Green Man was closing. It's strange, really, because I don't know if you remember, Sandra, when we went last time, I came out and I said, Goddess in Green Man seems to have changed. When I went in there was nothing I wanted to get, nothing inspired me. Everything seemed a bit sort of souvenirish, and it just had a different vibe. So maybe they were already kind of, letting things kind of sell out and that sort of thing. They didn't even have like the Lunar Moon hair book, and just seemed very different. But she's retiring, so maybe something else will come and it'll be just as great. Sarah and Trio, hello. Rachel's here, hi. Kim, hello Kim. Kim, it's a year today since I came to New York. I can't believe a whole year has passed like that. I was talking to my friend this morning when we went to walk the dogs, because he was the one that took me to the airport. He's like, can't be a year. I'm like, it's a year today. Gosh. Vintage Moon, hello. And Fireside, hello. We have Golden. Ferdiad, hello Ferdiad. Gina, no, not Gina. Glinda. I need my eyes tested again. Moomin, hello. Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you. MA, hello, MA. Abigail, hello. Trisha, hello. Heidi, hello. Nice to see you. Sue Grancy, hello. Hope you're all right. SJ, Imka, Ellie, Arignon. Oh, you've got the flu, Cheryl. Sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better soon. Jen, hello, Jen. Nice to see you. Forever We're After, hello. So many lovely people here. Elspeth, Stephanie, Butterfly Moore, hello. Judith. And have I caught up? I think I've caught up with everyone. So, hello and welcome. You'll have seen from the title, we're going to be talking. Just had that on top of my, because it's so cold today. So I put that on top of my mug just so that I would be able to keep my drink warm. You'll probably see the steam still coming off the top. I don't know if you will actually. But I've got a festive drink in my mug. I've got a Bailey's coffee, because this is my last live before Christmas with York, because next Saturday I'm in York for the Christmas market. If the flooding has receded, because York is completely flooded at the moment, but hoping another week that it might be Might be better. Nice mug. Yes, I wanted to mention actually, because these are in the gifts that I got and I showed on my channel yesterday. And when I opened the box, it was a total surprise as to what was in there. I had no idea what was coming. But then this morning, the lovely Sarah sent me an email just to say, you're so welcome, because I sent her an email after the live just saying, oh, the gifts are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. They were Yule gifts. And she put, you're so welcome. What a surprise to see your lovely, sweetest video, the unboxing, not expected. It was easy to have these gifts created for you that I feel you might like, as we have similar tastes. So the mug, she found Heart and Solace. I'm not going to tip it up and show you the stamp underneath because I'll scold myself. She saw it at a crafter's market in the area where she lives, and she had purchased their Sun and Moon tarot. And I asked them to create a Hermit one for you. So this mug was created for me. I mean, how amazing is that? And I love it. I love the colour on the inside. I love the little stoneware, but I love that bulbous shape because, as I said in my live yesterday, when it's cold, it's a hug mug. So lovely. And to think that it was, she asked them to create it especially, it was really nice. She says the necklace, which is this one, which has the Hermit's lantern on, was created by two different artists, Tomo Jewelry and a dear friend Faye, who is a stained glass artist. So I didn't know if this was obsidian because it was like a shiny black, but it's a stained glass. And then the Hermit's lantern goes on top, which is just lovely. And it's one of those adjustable ones. So there's loads of cord to get it to whatever length you want it to. And then she says the carving, which I love this carving, picked up from the Peachland Crafters Fair. And I have a few pieces. They're so talented. And it is so gorgeous. This is. It's got a hook on the back. So I'm going to pop that behind me there. Hopefully that's in place. I want to make sure it doesn't tilt too far the other way. There we go. So I can go behind me there. And then the box was embellished by me. I love the Green Man, as do I. So this box with the Green Man, she did herself. Isn't that just lovely? And she agreed about the delivery being super fast from Canada. It really was. And also she put in this handmade card that she did as well, which is just gorgeous. And then she's offered me somewhere to stay if I ever go to Canada, which is the sweetest thing as well. Talking of travels. So yeah, if you do watch this back, Sarah, thank you again, because I love everything. Really, really nice. And I really appreciate it. Let's see if there's any comments while I was nattering away then. Ferdia said, it's never a year since you went to New York, Simon. Yeah, this time last year, I'd been in the air for nearly 5 hours, so we'd be coming into now flying over American soil. But it would be like, no, it can't be. It must be 7. It must have been 7 hours going. Well, I think we did it in 6, and we flew. We left at 2:20, so that'd be 6 hours, 8:20. No, so another hour or so till we land. But you kind of come down the east New York Islands and everywhere, and I think we came in via Boston, looking on that thing on the plane. But anyway, we were nearly there. And yeah, I just can't believe it's a year ago. But yes, the year has flown. I love your pendant. Thank you, Jen. I do. I really like it. I'm a big fan of souvenirish things. I mean, every time I go somewhere anyway, like on one of the trips, I always pick up something souvenirish, maybe like a fridge magnet or a postcard to go in my memory box or something like that. Love a Baileys. Yeah, and Baileys coffee is just so nice, isn't it? But you have to drink it hot. You on the mead tonight, Sandra? Medicinal purposes, of course. I must go down, actually, to the Christmas market down in the square just to see if the mead stand is there this year. Mind you, it's double the price of what you'd pay anywhere else. It's like £30 for a bottle, but I should have brought one back with me from Glastonbury. I did that last year. From Weird Raven, I bought a bottle that I saved to Christmas. Everybody was like, oh, it not last till Christmas. And I proved everybody that it did. Although I was away for a week before Christmas, so that wasn't too difficult. Hello, Adam. Nice to see you. I love stoneware. I do too. Perfect comfort drink mug. Hello, Kathy. Nice to see you as well. Heron symbolises patience and focus. Yep. They really knew you well, Simon. Picked the most precious gifts for the holidays. Yeah, I feel very, very blessed, very spoiled, and very humbled. Gosh, there's loads of... Oh, Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? Hello, Moontide. Hello, Sweetie Pie. Lots of people coming in. Hello to everyone coming in. There's 113 here already, which is lovely. Hello, Robin. Souvenir collecting is fun. Okay, I think I've caught up. Did you take the disc off your necklace, Simon, or is it a different one? No, it's just the way it's shiny. It looks silver, doesn't it? But it's black. It's because when with the light shining on it, and I was looking down, it looked silver because I just caught it in the iPad. Okay, so as I mentioned tonight, my unconventional conventionalists. Tonight is the last live before Christmas because I'm away next Saturday. I think Christmas is the Thursday after. Yule is Sunday, isn't it? Is Yule Sunday? Yes, Yule is next Sunday. So we've got Yule on Sunday, Christmas on Thursday, and I've got something on almost every day. And so I thought with this being the last live, it might not be the last live of the year, but certainly the last live before Christmas, we would do that kind of end of year stuff that I've done previously. And again, you know, when I do these kind of lives, if you want to join in, then I've tried to make it as interactive as possible. So I've got my banners at the ready, and you'll have seen from the title, I've called it When the Tower Falls and the Star Appears. And there's a reason for that. And because the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the year ahead card and the previous year's card. And what I would say is, because I'm coming off my, because I've made notes, oops, gosh, I nearly dropped it. I've made notes to refer to, so I can't see the chat on the iPad, so I'm relying completely on the chat on the screen, but that tends to be clunky because it will shift, and so I'll keep scrolling back. But if you do want to join in and you do want to have something to say, then please could you pop it in capitals, because then 21st, Jen, longest night, isn't it? So the way I always remember it is equinox, equi for equal, where the night and day are equal. And then solstice is where the sun is either, as in the day, is either shortest or longest. So 21st of June is the summer solstice, where the day is at its longest and the night is at its shortest. And then December 21st, which is also classed as the first day of winter, is where the night is at its longest and the day is at its shortest. And then after that, we start to see the return of the light, and the oak king defeats the holly king. So, all right. So, if you're wondering, and I've done these before, so I just find it helps to show them how you work out your card of the year is your birth date, but not year. That's how you do your life path card. So my birthday is 15th of October, so that's 1 + 5 + 1, and 0. I put the zeros in just to illustrate, but obviously adding 0 doesn't do anything. And then the year, the 4 digits, 4 numerals of the year gives you your card. So an example being for 2025, 1 + 5 + 1 + 0 + 2 + 0 + 5 + 2 + 5 equals 16, which is the Tower. So let me grab... I'll grab my deck. Just to illustrate this. So obviously, when I realised it was going to be a Tower year, I'd imagine most of you, mine's Temperance, says Rachel, most of you would be the same. I was like, oh, Tower year, what's this going to... And, you know, things don't always mean exactly as it seems, you know, and I've often said, you know, although in 2022, going into 2022, I pulled the death card and I just got that feeling that this is actually going to be a year of death. And 10 days into the years when I lost my mum, she died on the 10th of January. And I knew when I pulled the death card for my year ahead that it literally meant that. But for me, I wrote a few notes as well. For me, there was some shaking of foundations. There've been quite a few changes for me this year. There's been some destabilizing, particularly in my work situation. A lot of you know that, you know, the old kind of familiarity and structure that I had in place has completely fallen away. But I've got strong, firm foundations, and I've been able to move on to something new. And I do feel like, in particular at my work situation, that I'm having to learn again, because after 7 years of doing a particular job that I could honestly say I knew inside and out. And I think that's why I was ready for a new challenge as well, and for a bit of upheaval, because, you know, learning is lifelong, isn't it? And sometimes when you do the same job for too long, you can become a little bit stagnant. So I needed that kind of shake up, and for something to fall away so that something new could come forward. I think year ahead card. Oh, what we're adding up. Yeah. So your month, your day and month of birth. So for instance, mine is 15th of October. Oh, I've showed you the next one, but that's fine. Never assume as well that because it's the tower, the next one is going to be the star, because every so often they jump. But you do get, I think I did this with Jennifer Ball once, and I think I worked out that every 7 years or something it shifts. But yeah, so for this year, although we're coming to the end of it now, mine was the tower. Okay. So doing the same principle again, but for 2026, it is 17, and I'm going into the star, which, as you know, when you're working through the major arcana as well, the star then after that gives you something, that you're moving forward after that upheaval, that things are starting to take shape. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I put here healing after an upheaval as well, because even though it's not for me a healing process, I suppose it is on an emotional level, because it also felt like a bit of a bereavement going from managing a team that we were really, really close to, then physically moving to another location and managing a different team. And, you know, part of me, like everything, when we make those changes, you do get that little bit of doubt, and you get that sort of, oh, have I made the right decision? Have I done the right thing? Everything was so familiar and, you know, comfortable. But that desire that you have to progress, that hope you have for your future, returns quietly and without force. It takes time, and you start to get that kind of like gentle optimism again. The number comes to higher than 21. What you do, please, you add them together again. Some people, obviously, if it's 22, would put that as the Fool, because the Fool would never come up else, because it's 0. So a lot of people have gone with 22 being the Fool. But if you got 23, for example, then that would be the Hierophant. Moving away from my country would be my personal star. Oh, Sandra, mine is Judgment. Was yours Judgment too then, Sandra? Mine is the Wheel next year. Yes, I'm really excited about having the star as that guiding light through next year. And also, just to clarify, just going back to the tower, the tower can also be clarity, because sometimes, or from the tower comes clarity, I should say, but it can, in a reading, the tower coming up can signify that clarity that is coming. It's not necessarily punishment that we sometimes automatically think. Hierophant and Lovers for next year. I think I might have done that wrong. I think mine might be the World, Brain Not Functioning. Mine is the Sun for this year, and next year is Judgment. Hierophant this year, Lovers for next year. The Tower can sometimes block the star behind. Yeah, but once the tower's fallen away, then you've got the sun, the star showing, haven't you? It's visible again once that tower has broken and fallen away. So when you get a birthday and a new solar return, usually you can start to feel it a few months early. I'm not sure whether to use strength or justice for 2026. Which one are you drawn to? Which tarot tradition do you use the most? Vintage moon. That is interesting. I mean, personally, I would go with strength being 8, but older moon, did you get 8 or did you get 11? Tower can be a beautiful energy and a time of sudden deep reflection and total clarity. Yeah. So what I wrote down is I put foundations shaken, old structures falling away to make room for something new. The tower brings clarity, not punishment. And I never even said that, and I wrote it down here. My tower moment this year, going into something completely new and having everything shaken up, was that I'm having brain fog moments. It's really bad. As I was looking at my notes, something popped into my head, and I've started saying to introduce it, and now it's gone for whatever it was. Never mind. It might come to me if I start reading other people's comments. Do you add your full date with year? No. So for your year ahead, you would do that for your life path card. So my life path card is the Lovers, because it's 1 + 5 + 1 + 0 + 1 + 9 + 7 + 0. And that adds up to, I think it added up to 6. There's no other way around it. No other way around it, because I was like, don't want the Lovers. But I always got confused between 8 and 11. Do you know why 8 switched the cards? I think it was just his order of how we saw the major arcana and the Fool's Journey play out. Temperance was this year. I haven't done next year. Could be the devil then. Yes, it's the World. So yours is the World, Sandra. Moontide got the Chariot for next year. Astrology, yes, Tom. My birth card is the Chariot. Cool. Okay, so my year is going from the Tower to the Star, and I'm going to leave those 2 out for a few days. So I'm going to do some journaling on that, probably tomorrow. I've got a quiet Sunday tomorrow. They feel like such a treat these days. A quiet Sunday, a little bit of a pamper at the barber's in the morning, and then I've got a video that's going up tomorrow as well, which is something a little bit different, although I do it every year. I'm sure you can guess what it is. But I did some prep work for that today. Tuck that under there. So yeah, so that's that bit. But keep that all in mind, your year ahead and your year past, as we go through some of the other prompts. Oh, Adams is going from the Tower to Star 2. I lost my job department, closed this year, and I got another position in the same company, same as you, Simon. Oh wow, yeah, mine was kind of like a promotion. And I applied for it. It was a conscious decision I made myself when I saw it advertised. It was advertised internally. And I thought, could I do that? But it was such a hard decision to make. because I was comfortable, and the team was just an amazing team. And when I went in, we were a team of 3. And when I left, we were a team of 9. And, I picked the others for the team, and we just gelled really, really well. But the team I've got now is great. So, it's just, I'm sure you can relate when you're going from something, and was really successful at. That's not me blowing my trumpet, because we're a team. The team was really successful at it. We won a national award for the work that we do on the last day of my job. So it was like, oh my God, now I'm going into something that I know not very little about, but it's different, completely different. But hey ho. Anyway, the next thing is, I didn't even put them up, did I? So I've got to get better at this. So what I wanted to talk about next is thinking of your card for the year that you've been on. What has 2025 taught you, and what are you carrying forward? So, for instance, having the tower and the things that that's taught me, and knowing that the star card is my year ahead card. What am I carrying forward from what I've learned this year? I'm going to pop the comments back up so I don't miss anything. Hello, Jennifer. Nice to see you. So what has this year taught me? I've put learning to sit with uncertainty rather than rushing for an answer. And I think that's probably one of the lessons that is forefront of a couple of other things that I put down, because in the past, if I find myself in uncertain situations or unfamiliar territory, I feel like I've got to get the answers and quick. And it's okay to feel like that, because you are in a situation that's unfamiliar. So if it's uncertain, just I've had to take my time, and I've had to go slowly, because sometimes I have a tendency to want to know everything and want to do everything, and I end up burning out. Whereas I just have to sit with that uncertainty and think, okay, well, wherever my gaps in knowledge are or experience, how can I fill those gaps? What can I do? How can I plan for that? And trust the process, even when it feels uncomfortable, because that's the big thing for me, is that sort of uncomfortable. Because when you do feel uncomfortable in uncertain situations, that's where in the past for me, fear would creep in, and then I kind of want to retreat, and kind of I get panicky. So just know that there's having that trust in the process. And if I feel uncomfortable, that's just because of the unfamiliar situation I'm in. And actually, if I allow myself to evolve gradually over time, taking in information in chunks that I can process properly, then that's better for me. Let's see if there's a few things here. Adam says, what am I carrying forward, knowing that there was always a way out of a problem, even in the worst case scenarios? Yeah. Sandra says, I think mine has been more on a spiritual level, with more spiritual awareness personally, which I guess would be right for judgment. Yeah. Kelly Reed Stuff, hello. From temperance to the devil for me, I have been a little overly festive this month, since I have no work scheduled for the rest of the year. Going to have to cut back on the bad habits come January. Yeah, come January. Don't be too hard on yourselves. I think we all tend to overindulge with things, don't we, at this time of year? What is the formula again? So the formula is your month. Yep, I keep saying your month first. If you're in America, I suppose it would be a month first, but the day and month of your birth plus the year that you're going into, add them all up. That gives you your card. If it's over 22, keep adding them up until you get your major card. And what am I carrying forward? Knowing that there's always a way out of a problem. Yeah. What? Do you do your 2025 card from 1st of Jan 25 to 31st, or from your 25 to your what? I think we're overcomplicating it now. It's taught me that I need to stop hiding myself away and isolating myself and socialize more with others. I literally am a hermit, so this is difficult for me. I get that. I do get that. Did I write anything else? Yeah, I did. I put realizing that I'm more resilient than I thought I was as well. And it's no secret, I've mentioned many times on the channel that in the past I've not done things because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. And I've really let myself be held back. And I've got to the age now where I just think, well, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And more times than not, it's paid off. So, and I have realized that I'm actually, this year has taught me that I am more resilient than I perhaps thought I was. And then to carry forward self-trust, adaptability, and patience. Patience is still something, though, that I need to carry forward to 2026 because I am impatient. It's something that I am working on. And I think, I mean, if I'm honest, I'm trying to justify it now. I think sometimes where I lack patience is if I think to myself, well, I could have done that quicker, or I could have done, and that's ego as well. And, you know, everybody does things differently. And just because something is done slower doesn't mean that it, you know, that's the fault of that person. Maybe there's more detail in things. Maybe that person's really took the time and the quality is better. So patience, having patience for myself as well, because like I said right at the start, I just think I've got a gap in knowledge. I need to sort this out, and realizing actually that I need to trust that process that I talked about. Elspeth is going from the moon to the sun, and that's my 8-year-old who is watching with me is going from Justice to Hermit. Wow. So that's cool. Moomin says, oh, mine is the sun, not the wheel. That's fine. So shall we look at the next prompt? So the next prompt I've got is, what are you ready to release before Yule / Christmas? What are you ready to release? Get back to the comments. Is there some kind of significance if you're getting the same card as your birth cards? Yeah, I would say there is a significance. I think when your life path card and your year ahead card aligns, I would pay attention to that for sure. £10 for a gilded hardback. I'm not sure what. Librans are always trying to adjust themselves, their situations, to be the best, most comfortable and fair. Yeah, tell me about it. That's me to a T. A Fortune and the Magician were my birth cards. Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. Because you did 10 and then could be 1. Yeah. Oh, in Hackney, there's metaphysical shops in Hackney. I didn't know. So MA says, releasing resistance to grief and all the feels. Too much soldiering through in second half of 25. Need to process a lot of loss. Yeah, and I think if you're like me, MA, as well, I think when we don't always want to confront grief because we know that process isn't easy, and we fear the grieving process as well. So, and sometimes circumstances around us mean we don't have time to do that because we're thinking about other people and what that might mean, and we try and be strong and we try and soldier on. But it needs to happen, and it's whether that's sooner or later, because eventually it will happen. Eventually, when we stop, then that work's still there needing to be done, isn't it? But it's not it's not an easy process to go through. Simon, I am ready to release before Christmas. Fear of the unknown and learn to trust the process. Absolutely. You and me both. We're aligned there. I'm very ready to release anxiety and fear. It's been very moon-like this past year. Now I think about it. Did you have the moon as well? Sandra would like to release fear and stress, but whether I can or not, I hope so. It's a process. It's not, making that determination to do it puts us in the mind frame, but it's not a switch, is it, that we can just switch? It is a process. And again, it's trusting that process. But I also think if we have that doubt there, like, I don't know if I can or not, then that also is how we framed our mind. There's don't want to be cliche or sound too Hay House-ish, but we do, a lot of it is down to having a positive mental attitude and having that mindset. If we're always there with, I don't know if I can though, it's almost like we're almost expecting that we won't. Where are we? Anyone ready to release their belts to prepare for pots of eating? Ready to release I put something very similar. I haven't shared mine yet, but I put something very similar, Judith. So I'd put overthinking. Gosh, overthinking. This is intentional, but I'm ready to release it. Overthinking and imagining the worst case scenarios. What if? We could drive ourselves around the bend, couldn't we? Perfectionism. Always trying to, and I live by the 4 agreements, and one of them is always do your best. And is that perfectionism? I think sometimes we can have a standard of here and we do our best and we fall a little bit short of where we perceive that perfectionism is. But perfecting our practices, our attitudes, our behaviors is something we strive for. But at the same time, it's subjective, isn't it? Perfection. When we break it down, who's setting the bar for that perfection? And the other one I put is people pleasing. I'm still a people pleaser, and it churns me up inside when I think that somebody doesn't like me. If you hear about somebody said this, and again, it's one of the 4 agreements about what other people think has nothing to do with you. But I am a people pleaser just by nature. And then I put as well, what I'm ready to release is that rest must be earned. And what I mean by that is, and I did a live probably about 2 months ago, as it was going into the dark half of the year. So it was at the start of autumn, if you probably recall it. And I talked about how this time of the year in particular, we go into hermit mode more, and it's a time for rest. But I will always say things like, because people at work, they'll come in on Monday and I say, "Oh, have you had a nice weekend?" And they've done this, they've done that. And I've been doing a lot of stuff. And then I'll catch myself saying, "Oh, I'm not doing anything this week. I've really earned a well-deserved rest." And actually, rest doesn't have to be earned. Rest is essential for our well-being. And I really want to release that belief that if I'm resting, I'm not being lazy, I'm not being idle, I'm managing my health and well-being, I'm thinking about self-care, because I do a lot. I work hard. I fill a lot of my weekends. I just like my downtime as well, but I'm not going to take that sort of, "Oh, I haven't earned it." Another one I put is unrealistic expectations, particularly during busy periods, and comparisons with others, especially at work. And perhaps, if I'm really honest, on spiritual paths as well. I tend to try and compare myself. I try not to compare myself, but I find that I slip into that a lot, probably more so at work. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to release that. Other people are on their paths and their life is completely different to mine. Lots of different influences, lots of different situations that they're going through that I know nothing about. Let's see what you lot are saying. I enjoy pleasing people sometimes, but I do as I please, and I'm very selective. On the scale of people pleaser to people displeaser, I'm probably too close to the former. I need to embrace more of my inner C word and start annoying people more. No, there's a fine line, isn't there? But we have to think. I suppose we have to think about why we're trying to please other people. What's the goal of that? Why are we doing it? Is it to be liked? Because we can't be liked by everybody. Is it we're trying to please them to gain something from them, whether that's their affections or their time? there's a whole raft of possible reasons, and that's perhaps what we have to explore. As a fellow ADHDer, I totally hear you, Simon. Overthinking, perfectionism, people pleasing are things I'd like to release too. See, until you just said that, Samantha, I'd never even connected that to my ADD. Perhaps overthinking, but certainly the people pleasing and the perfectionism, I hadn't necessarily linked it to. So that's interesting. Yes, rest plus brain cells need that time to multiply those brain cells. That's a good point, MA, as well. Some of those overactive, hyperscheduled tendencies can be symptoms of not being comfortable with downtime, or they can be performative. Adam says, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm Scorpio, sun rising. I tend to more do whatever I want, and anyone who likes me along the way is a bonus. And that's what I'm striving for. I think, if I'm honest, though, it will always be in my DNA to some degree, but the prompt is what I want to release. I think it's a human tendency to want to be loved, and that I don't necessarily mean romantically, but I believe that, if the universe is anything, it's love. I believe that love is a real energy force in all its formats, and I think everybody wants to be loved, whether that's they want to be liked, whether they want to be admired, whether they want to be respected. We have that. I think we have that in our DNA to some degree. Sandra, for me, probably unrealistic thoughts. Marilyn says, oh, Simon, I'm trying hard to allow downtime. I feel like I need to be busy all the time with so many things pending that needs schedule it. Not that I think, not I want to quote Mormonism because that's my past, but, throughout my life, I've taken bits of things that resonate. But there was a dead prophet that once said, I went to a general conference which used to be beamed from Salt Lake City all across the world, and we used to go to your state centre and watch them on the big screen. But I always remember back in the 90s, it was Gordon B. Hinckley, and he said, a Sabbath day without rest is a poorly planned Sabbath. And like I say, not that I believe, in Sabbath and all that kind of stuff, but the essence of that message is we should plan our rest time. And if we don't, then we haven't planned well. So, Kelly reads stuff. I feel guilty for having my special bubble bath. Why? With all the candles and incense, and Kelly tunes sometimes, and make excuses for treating myself. Yeah, release that. You enjoy your bubble bath with incense. That sounds amazing. I might have one tomorrow afternoon. I love a Sunday afternoon bath. I tend to have a bath about once every 3 months. I'm such a shower person. But again, because I'm up at 5:30 in the mornings and don't have time to lay in a bath, but it feels like a real treat. And I have to have my bath really hot as well, because I lay in it for like an hour. Where are we? Just looking to see if there's any capitals, really, because I'm way behind, aren't I, in the chat. Simon is Libra. Yeah, I'm Libra. Okay, so that was what are you ready to release before Yule and Christmas. The next one is, again, thinking of that downtime, where can you notice the quiet magic of this season? Everybody talks about the magic of the season and the stillness of winter. Where can you notice the quiet magic of the season? What did I put? Kind of carrying on with the theme. Rest is sacred, not lazy. Darkness has a place, and it's a place of growth, as well as gestation. And actually, one of the things I love about this time of year is, coming home, it's dark, you light your candles, there is that quietness and solitude. I know that's not going to be for everybody in everybody's lives, but I'm just, I've talked about me because I do live alone. And there is beauty, particularly living in a city where I always do especially this time of year, because I live above a shopping mall, which is rammed at this time of year. In fact, I got home at about 9:15 this morning, and I've not left the flat since, because I know that we've just 2 Saturdays to go before Christmas, that downstairs is going to be a living hell. So I got home before the rush, made sure I got parked up, I bought food in, I locked the door, but the minute the elevator doors closed and that it starts to move, and the chitter chatter, the noise of the shopping centre, the music and the people dissipates, I was like, oh. And then I get in here, I lock the door, I get in my comfies, and like when I get home from work, there's just something really beautiful and sacred about the dark nights, the stillness, and just being with your cards or in meditation, whatever you do as part of your spiritual practice, there's beauty in it. And I put here, stillness has productivity in unseen ways, and it really does. Slowing down as alignment, not failure. Listening and observing rather than pushing forward, which is, again, something I have a tendency to do. Let's see what you guys are saying. You're on about baths. Bye, MA. I noticed the quiet magic of the season in local parks. Yes, late in the afternoon when the sun is setting, less people, calm falls over the trees, the orange leaves settling. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I have to make an effort to get to a park. We have got parks around the city, but there's one that's accessible on foot here, but most you'd have to catch the tram out to or something like that. But it is lovely at this time of year. Mind you, all seasons are lovely to be in parks, aren't they? And that's gone cold now. Feel your pain, Simon. Soho is insane. I have to sit on the horn in the car to part the waves so I can drive down the road. Ugh, I can only imagine. I think Nottingham's bad, but yeah, London, especially Soho. Kelly says, quiet magic is when I am the only one awake and I sit with my coffee in the darkness with only the lights of the tree twinkling. I really like early mornings as well. during this time of year, because it doesn't get light till about 7:30, does it? And the alarm will go off at 5:30. And sometimes, if I don't have to leave the house till 7, sometimes if I shower quickly and I do my cards, then very often I get back into bed with a mug, and it might be by this time about 6:30, and I think, well, I've got half an hour, and that's nice. That's quiet. When the moonlight shines into your flat, oh, you've got a balcony. That's nice. I get the moonlight shining in. Last week, when it was the full moon, it was early in the morning, and I woke up and I thought, my bedroom is lit. And then I looked and I saw the full moon shining through. Quiet magic in the woods, the bare trees, and even nicer with some frost or snow making the trees sparkle. Even seeing patterns in the frost on windows, I think, is magical. Yeah, I can always remember I was about 5. It was the house that I was born into, and we left there when I was 6. And we didn't have central heating then. We didn't even have an indoor toilet. Really aging myself now. And I can remember this particular winter's morning, and there was ice on the inside of the window, and there was this most amazing pattern. And I was staring at it, and I said, "Mum, what's that?" And she said, Jack Frost has been and painted this picture." And that always stuck in my mind. So every time, and I believed it. I believed that this person called Jack Frost had been and painted this picture on the inside of the window. Living in Florida, my husband and I love to go to the beach pavilion and just listen to the waves and the seagulls and the sun going down. Just beautiful. It soothes our soul. I'm Cancer. I'm heading into the summer where I am. So for me, I've been noticing the magic in the early spring, in the early morning bird song, just taking a couple of minutes to be outside in the early sun and listening. Well, thank you for taking part in this as well, Tricia, because, you know, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and we're talking about the dark half of the year, I'm glad that you're still able to join in and share how it is for you as well. I love walking my dogs after it's rained. No one else is around, just muddy puddles and the birds. I notice quiet walking along the beach where I live at night, seeing the moonlight shine on the sea, the breeze along the beachfront. Sounds beautiful. I've seen the magic of the season where I'm on my way to work before the sun shines. It feels darker, and that I'm really... That sounds gorgeous. Do you know what I hope? I hope going forward after this live, that even if it's just for this week, that we really look up, that we really live in the moment, and we remember everything we're saying now. And even if we're like, oh, we're on our way to work and we've got a tough day ahead or whatever, just be in that moment and just see the beauty that's around us. I love early mornings too. Love when I wake up with enough time to go down, make myself a cup, and then go back and sit in bed with my tea. The magic of the caffeine brings me back to life. Same. I do tend to feel that, if I'm honest, I do tend to feel that time with social media. Oh, let's have a look. Because during the night, I tend to wake up to messages anyway from people in different time zones. Coming home in the darkness after a snowstorm where all the roads have been ploughed and the holiday street decorations are lit and no one is about, all snug and warm. See, I wish we had snowy Christmases here. I've never had one in my life. Been on this earth 55 years and never had a white Christmas. Well, I'll tell a lie. 1981, was it 82? 81 or 82, was at my grandparents' for Christmas, and it was just me and my mum. Before she remarried. It didn't snow, but there was snow on the ground from like the week before. So technically it was a white Christmas. My most magical memory from my childhood, I was very little, 3 or 4. I remember watching the dust motes coming in through the sunshine in the windows. I love that. It's similar to when you're sitting in the cinema and you look up. When I was a kid, people could smoke in cinemas, and smoke used to rise and form patterns in the projection. But now you just see little dust particles and things, don't you? But yeah, you see that with sunshine as well. It is, I mean, it's magic in the mundane, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to scroll to see if there's anything in caps. No. So the next one then, we've still got a few. Look at the time. I'm going to have to go a bit quicker. Okay, this is something I've done in the past as well, which is the word of the year. What one word do you want to carry to the year ahead? I really had to think about this one. And I wrote down a few, but I've got the one that I'm going with, and I'll tell you why. So I was thinking, is it confidence? Because I need to trust myself in my new role. Is it grounded? Because I want to feel steady rather than rushed. Is it capability? Because I need to recognize my competence. Is it presence? Staying with what's in front of me, like we're just saying about all these beautiful stories people are sharing, and to notice them, you've got to be in the present moment, haven't you? But the word that stood out to me the most, and I thought, it's trust. Trust the process, trust in myself, trust in my unfolding path, my journey, and where it's going to take me. So whilst all those other words were important, they were linked to certain situations, whereas I think trust is multifaceted. So my word for 2026 is going to be trust. Let's hear what yours are. Positivity. That's a lovely one. Hi, Thace. Nice to see you. Marilyn says compassion and staying grounded. So you're having a couple, which is great. Ditto, Simon. Or you're going with trust as well, Lily Rose? Trust is a great one. Jen is going with forgiveness. Wow. That's a biggie. That's a big one. And that for me, that would be aspirational. But yeah, wow. Good word. Trust is a great word for the year. Moomin Tarot says laughter. Adams is faith, not in a religious sense, but faith in himself. Sandra hasn't decided yet. Hope. Ease. Live with ease into life. Yeah, it is trust for Lily Rose. Create is Chris's word. I like that. Faith over fear. Arwen, love the eternal inspiration. I like that. Oh, and movement. I want to move forward and not stay stuck in situations, says Ferdiad. Movement is a great word. Peace. You're all going on about park. I don't know what. I keep seeing comments about parks. I'm like, why about parks? Trust would definitely be the remedy for my worry. I may catch that train too. Come on board, Kelly. Come on, get on that train with us. Permission. Letting go. Fire sign says courage. It fuels trust. Dawn's is acceptance. Moontide likes the idea of guidance. Everyone has great words. Explore. Yeah, explore. Be like a child. Inquisitive, exploring, new adventures. Stability for Jennifer, sorry. How informal of me. Believe. Oh, I like Stephanie's word. Today. Yeah, today. Now. Be in the moment. Do it today. I like that. You started it, Simon, with the parks. Did I? Oh. Well, no, somebody said they like a walk in the park, and I said, yeah, I guess there is one that I could get to on foot. The rest are a tram away. I didn't realise that started a whole how far people are from parks. Experience of success, authenticity, creative spot on. Can we have backup words? Absolutely. There's no rules. You do whatever. Humour would be a good one. That just jumped massively, so I don't know if I've missed many out. Using the same words as the last 2 years. Gratitude. Yeah, carry it forward. All these words would make a great oracle, wouldn't they? How dare you? Sorry, Jennifer. It's because it's a whole, like, I see that, Jennifer, right, 40, and I just saw the first bit. Just called you Jen. And yeah, I mean, I never mind when people do it, but when people call me Sigh, I think, presumptuous of you. Or at work, Bry. Right, Bry. I think, oh, are we that familiar? Are we at that level? Okay, so the last two are kind of more sort of thinking about, as the year ends, what we're grateful for, that sort of thing. And then we're not doing the whole resolution thing, because I don't do resolutions, but there is something I want to touch on. So what are you grateful for right now, big or small? Whatever you feel, that gratitude. And some people have even chose gratitude, like Kim, who's doing it for 3 years. So a couple of things I jotted down. I put a spiritual practice that continues to ground me. Being part of a supportive, reflective community. I mean, I live for this Saturday chat. And when there's been a few weeks where I've not done it, I'm like, I'm so ready to connect with everyone. And I think that's why I do videos as often as I do, and why I kind of keep them going, because it's not just the fact that I'm putting a video out there, but I love when comments pop in from people. There's just that connection. But nothing gives me greater connection than what I'm doing right now. Chatting to everybody and interacting with people. It's brilliant. from the comfort of my own cave as well. Meaningful work that aligns with my values. I've done jobs in the past and I've stayed in them far too long that have no meaning, everything's got a meaning, but not a meaning that aligned with what my values are. And since I've started working in education, and particularly working with people who have had some real knockbacks and barriers to overcome, I feel so grateful to be in this line of work. Particularly on a week like this where we've had shows, end of year shows, and seeing the talent and seeing the confidence and those soft skills developing. It's very humbling and very rewarding. And I feel so grateful that I do work that aligns to the values that I have. A safe, warm home and stability. Thinking on a very sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that bottom line of having a safe, warm home and stability. And then the everyday stuff, the simple everyday comforts that I often take for granted. Some that I've already shared, but just the simple stuff. I think it's important to recognize the simple stuff that we should be grateful for, because we can very often overlook them and take them for granted. Okay. 17 minutes past. Let's see what we've got. Family. Yeah. A new granddaughter. Oh, I hope it goes well, Raymond Song. Let me know if you feel inclined to, of course. I'm grateful for this chat right now, as am I, Moomin. Being able to be here right now. I have found that people call us names with numerology, but they want to change us somehow. And that's on them, innit? They can't change us. I'm grateful for my full belly and comfy sofa, the fellowship of my Druid Grove today, the fun of this tarot group. And I'm grateful for you, Ferdiad. Spiritual practice and friends. Adam's grateful for his spiritual abilities that guide him, friends who stick around even in tough times. They're the real friends, aren't they? Not fair weathered, the ones that are there by your side through thick and thin. Yeah. Ha ha ha, sigh. This is how I feel if someone calls me Christopher. That's why the live videos are so great. I don't watch many videos outside of lives anymore. Yeah, it's funny because I get a lot out of this, but I can't very often watch a live video back, if that makes sense. So if I see a live's been up, because sometimes, I'll wake up in the morning and people might have done one through the night if they're in different parts of the world, and then I'm rushing to go to work, and then time is precious, and I find that I never get to sit and watch many lives back, not as many as I'd like to, but I do like to pick up my phone or my iPad and see that a live chat's happening and think, oh, right, jump in and then connect with people. I like that. Or scheduled lives, like Chris does his on a Thursday, Becca on a Sunday. And if I'm there and I can make it, I look forward to it. But I do love, and I think it's because that's how I found the tarot community. I love pre-recorded videos as well. And I like it when people post quite often. And I don't always comment because sometimes I listen to them in bed, sometimes in the car. So there's not always an opportunity, but I do watch as many as I possibly can. I watch YouTube more than I watch TV. And I think that's because when I found the YouTube community, there was only one live ever happening, which was Kelly's. Everybody just did pre-recorded. It's just so easy now to do them. It's been made a lot easier. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Well, it's only a lovely place to be because people like you are here as well. Otherwise, I'll just be sat here talking to a screen. The community is awesome. Coffee and sandwiches. Grateful for my health. Kitchen and garden. Just scrolling through quickly now because of time. Lots of people grateful for this community, which is lovely to hear. Okay. Where are we? Nearly there. So, any intentions? Because I don't do resolution. When people go on about, are you making any New Year resolutions? They just don't work. I don't know what it is about that word. But as soon as in the past, if I've made a New Year's resolution, it just doesn't happen. And then we kind of beat ourselves up for not sticking to them. So I tend to call them intentions now. And I think I've covered what my intentions are from what I've already said for the new year and my word and my year ahead card. But I think what I posed here was why my intentions feel kinder than resolutions. And I said what I wrote is intentions invite rather than demand. Resolutions seem to they're resolute. They feel more flexible and compassionate. Focus on how you want to feel, not what you need to achieve. So when I said my word of the year is trust, that's a feeling. Whereas if I said my resolution is to lose 3 stone, then that's something I've got to achieve. And if I don't lose 3 stone, then I feel like I failed. And we shouldn't feel like that. So the intention should be to be healthier, to feel healthier. So for me, it's about how I want to feel rather than what I need to achieve. It allows growth rather than self-judgment, and you can shift and evolve it just as we shift and evolve, where a resolution is unchangeable. It's almost more kind of set in stone. Let's see if I can see any comments. Yeah, Moran says, I don't do resolutions either. It feels time pressured. I have plans and intentions for the year. If I succeed, great. If not, it's okay. Kathy says, Simon, you always hold space for everyone and create a safe space. My intention is to go with the flow. good. That's a good intention to go with the flow. And thank you for saying that as well, because that's exactly what I wanted my channel to be, a safe space for people. And the same with the Facebook group. There has been criticisms in the past about, it's a closed group, and it's that for a reason, because it needs to be a safe space for everybody. And that's why there's questions to get in. And that's why we don't let people in if they don't answer the questions. It's not about being precious. It's about protecting the members in there. And if you can't answer the questions and agree to the group rules, then that's not fair on everybody else to let them in, because they could be spam accounts or all sorts. So that's why those measures are in place, because it needs to be a safe space, just like this is. I intend to move more when my illness allows. That's sensible. I like intentions so much better than resolutions. I love that idea. Resolution tells me to do something. Intentions ask me to feel something. Yeah, absolutely, Ferdiad. Oh, Kathy's here from Nothing So Strange. Hello. That's interesting. I'm one of those people who needs to be motivated and committed to make something happen. So resolutions work better for me, but I appreciate it's intense. And if it works for you, that's great. Some people, like you say, need that, that fixed thing to aim for. I just find that I fall short of it. Then I end up giving myself a hard time and beating myself up over it. Resolution sounds mechanical. Humans aren't machines. I like that. Yeah, we're called human beings because we just need to be. Intentions, be present and stop focusing on the pains of the past. Resolutions hold you accountable, especially if you tell people your resolutions. Intentions seem something you do all year. Yeah. Okay, let me scroll. Don't like resolutions either. Adam says the word resolution sounds final, negative, or forced. Intentions is so much more positive. My resolution would be to not buy too many tarot decks. My intention is to ignore my resolution. Quote of the night goes to Judith Green. I love that. That is brilliant. And then the last thing, because we are actually out of time, but the last thing is your Christmas or Yule traditions, and any simple rituals that you do, any memories to share, any familiar food, decks that you reach for. I've got quite a few Yule / Christmas decks, and I've got two in particular that I really like, and I'll just quickly share. I've had this one this will be my third Yule, and it's the Yuletide deck. It's by Llewellyn, and the cardstock, it's not new awful Llewellyn cardstock. However, it has damaged, and to think that I only use this at this time of year, although now saying that I can't. Oh yeah, just look at this. I'm not sure if it's showing. All the edges, because it's Llewellyn. Just look at this death image as well. And I really love the artwork of this deck. It's incredible. It is glossy. I love the courts as well, because the courts are all the same backgrounds, and it might be a setting like all the family sitting in front of a window. They have changed the names, which I do find irksome. So canes, though, is your wands, obviously. But the artwork is great. We've got 10 of gifts. Gifts is the pentacles, earth suit, chariot is the sleigh. I mean, look at the sun card. Is that Christoph's? Yes, it is. Mistletoe for the lovers. And look at the moon. It's a really, really, and then we've got King of Candles. So sorry, I said canes were wands, didn't I? They're not, the swords, because candles are wands. We've got Krampus for the devil. And that's the thing. That's the thing about this deck as well. I do get, that's like the blasted oak, isn't it? I think the artwork is really nice. So there's that deck that I like to use. And then also the box is dreadful. The cards don't fit in. That's probably another reason why they get damaged. The tray takes that many, but you still got all these. So they just sit on top because they don't fit in properly. Bloody Llewellyn. I feel like I'm really down on them, but this one, I love this pouch. Kelly Bear made me this as a Christmas gift about 5-6 years ago. And it's had this deck in ever since. And this is the winter weight. However, it's so hard to get this. So part of me is like, if I show it, people are going to want it. I think they replaced it with the Stars edition, but this is a glitter version. It's with these backs. You can get them without any glitter and things on, but they did a very limited run on this. And it's a very thick deck because of having to have the lamination on top of the glitter. But this is just gorgeous. Really beautiful. Bloody Llewellyn. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, look at that Hermit card. The glitter doesn't show as much under this really bright light, but under like a half light, it really dances. It's so colourful. So I love this one at Christmas time, and it's really durable as well. Gorgeous. Look at that sky. That's it. It's catching it now. Look. It's just stunning. So that's the deck that I really like as well. Other than that, traditions, I mean, I always spend Christmas with my family. My family's got smaller over the years, but I'm spending it with both my sisters. One sister for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the other sister for Boxing Day into the next day. I love sparkly things. Yeah, me too. And It's a Wonderful Life. Always have to watch it every year with my sister. It's never doesn't happen otherwise, or it's never not happened. So we just do it. She even said today, when are we getting together for It's a Wonderful Life? So might be Thursday. Yeah, the deck, the pouch is beautiful, isn't it? And the reds and the greens, very festive, and a little gingerbread man. So love it. All right, so that's everything. Reminds me of the Carol Hertzer decks. Really? Mind you, she does have some glittery ones, doesn't she? So maybe that version Yeah, but let's pull a tarot tile for our card of the week. I like their sparkle better than the stars. I do. Box of Delights. Oh, Sandra likes that. Oh, we have the 8 of Pentacles. Wow. So this is about being dedicated to the task at hand, but also reminding us that we need to have patience. God, this is like the tarot just responding to everything we've just talked about, isn't it? Because with patience and time comes skill. And a word that we've used tonight is perfection. Now, we might not ever, again, it's subjective, but to perfect what it is that we're working on, we have to be patient. We have to put in the work. We have to pay attention to the detail. We have to fine tune. And that takes time and practice and dedication. So how can this apply this week? Whatever it is that you're working on at the moment, make sure that you are focusing on the task in hand. Maybe you're going on a training course this week and you're looking to widen your knowledge or your skills. But whatever it is, it's about having the attention to detail, to be dedicated to whatever it is that you're working on. And above all else, don't rush it. Be patient. Take your time, because time equals skill. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to go and get my dinner. Been lovely to hang out. I will be doing pre-recorded videos up to Yule and Christmas, but being as this is the last live for a couple of weeks, so I'm away next weekend and then I'll be here after. I think it's with Cheryl on that one, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I need to talk to Cheryl because it wasn't as straightforward as we thought for whatever reason. And I'm doing a live with Chris at some point as well. I need to sort that out, Chris, if you're still here. But have a fantastic Yule. Have a peaceful and blessed Christmas time. However you celebrate or not, I just hope it's a time of peace, and that, you know, everything we've talked about tonight, we can just enjoy the magic of the moment. But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody, and making this community the wonderful space that it is. And thank you for your support over the last year. Just like I appreciate your support over the last 8 years. I never take it for granted. And just have a lovely end of your year. Stay tuned for tomorrow, because there's another annual video going up, which everybody seems to enjoy. So until then, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.